Good evening. We are going to call to order the July 16th, 2026 meeting of the NRPL Board of Trustees. This is our annual meeting. We have a full board and a quorum, and an attendance sheet will be going out, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start by reading for this annual meeting the mission and vision of the library before going into an adoption of the agenda. The mission of the NRPL Library is to empower our community and transform lives by supporting learning and discovery, by providing access to knowledge, information, and resources, by preserving and sharing our cultural heritage, and by investing in our community's economic, social, and cultural well-being. Our mission is as a community resource that seeks to improve the life of every resident in our city. It is dedicated to encouraging learning in all aspects and stages of life, to protecting intellectual freedom, and to providing fair and equal access to information. As part of the annual meeting, a normal process of all meetings are to adopt the agenda. And so I will make a motion to adopt the annual meeting agenda for the July 16th meeting. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Fala Cortez. Okay, any questions or discussion? Great, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, I'll turn it over for approval of the minutes for the June 11th meeting.
Yes. The meeting minutes of the June 11th board meeting were sent to the full board ahead of time for review. And so I will make a motion for the board to adopt the minutes of the June 11th board meeting.
Great, there's a motion on the floor to adopt the minutes of the June 11th board meeting. May I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vera Salter. Any questions, discussion? Great, we'll take a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes and minutes are approved. As part of our board reorganization, there is an administration of the oath of office to the newly elected board for the 2026-27 calendar year. And so I'm going to ask for each of the four officers, or at least to start with our president, and then we'll move to the vice president, secretary, and the finance officer. And we'll start and we'll go next to the flag. This is the oath of. All right, this is the oath of office for our president. Please repeat after me. I, Rhiannon Navin, do solemnly swear or affirm.
Navin, do solemnly swear or affirm.
Navin, not Navin. That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the president.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the president.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Yes. Oh. Yeah, well, I think I should have everybody out here. Yep. Sign here. And may I have the vice president? Okay. Please repeat after me. I, Vera Salter, do solemnly swear or affirm.
I, Vera Salter, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay, may I have the secretary? I, Nancy Weinberger, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Nancy Weinberger, do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of secretary
and that I will faithfully discharge the office of the duties of the office of the Secretary
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And we will have our finance officer. now, please. All right. I, Corey Galloway, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Corey Galloway, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of finance officer
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the finance officer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay, at this time, we have a new president, that's Rhiannon Navin, and our seating will change accordingly. I think that we're okay for now. Experience.
Stay in my seat.
All right. All right, we will continue with the business of our board organization, and I will continue with the oath giving, and I will begin with our newly elected member of the Board of Trustees, Lucille Runwood. Okay.
All right. Flipped spots. All right, repeat after me. I, Lucille Renwick,
I, Lucille Renwick,
do solemnly swear to or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee
of Board of Library Trustee for a term that to expire June 30th, 2031.
Discharge the duties of the office of Board of Library Trustees for a term to expire June 30th of 2031
In New Rochelle, New York, according to the best of my ability.
in New Rochelle, New York, according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. And I would now like to ask our new treasurer, Darren. You have to tell me your last name again. Jacobi. Jacobi? Jacobelli. All right. Ready? Okay. I, Darren Jacobelli,
I, Darren Acabelli,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of treasurer
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the treasurer
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations. And do we have a seat for Darren up here? Would you mind joining us up here? Thank you. Oh, I have to sign, yes. All right, well, sworn in. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, we are going to move on to some more annual meeting business. Next on the agenda, we have the trustee code of ethics and the conflict of interest policy. We will circulate the conflict of interest policy for all the trustees to review and to sign. And in the meantime, I'm going to read the code of ethics as presented by United for Libraries, by the American Library Association, just as a reminder to all of us trustees, as a statement for us to adhere to in the upcoming year. So the official statement from United for Libraries reads as follows. Public library trustees are accountable for the resources of the library, as well as to see that the library provides the best possible service to its community. Every trustee makes a personal commitment to contribute the time and energy to faithfully carry out his or her duties and responsibilities effectively and with absolute truth, honor, and integrity. Trustees shall respect the opinions of their colleagues and not be critical or disrespectful when they disagree or oppose a viewpoint different than their own. Trustees shall comply with the laws, rules, and regulations that apply to them and to their library. Trustees, in fulfilling their responsibilities, shall not be swayed by partisan interests, public pressure, or fear of criticism. Trustees shall not engage in discrimination of any kind and shall uphold library patrons' rights to privacy in the use of library resources. Trustees must distinguish clearly in their actions and statements between their personal philosophies and attitudes and those of the library, acknowledging and supporting the formal position of the board, even if they disagree. Trustees must respect the confidential nature of library business and not disclose such information to anyone. Trustees must also be aware of and in compliance with freedom of information laws. Trustees must avoid situations in which personal interests might be served or financial benefits gained as a result of their position or access to privileged library information for either themselves or others. A trustee shall immediately disqualify him or herself whenever the appearance of or a conflict of interest exists. Trustees shall not use their position to gain unwarranted privileges or advantages for themselves or others from the library or those who do business with the library. Trustees shall not interfere with the management responsibilities of the director or the supervision of library staff. And lastly, trustees shall support the efforts of librarians in resisting censorship of library materials by group or individuals. So this is just a good reminder for all of us in the upcoming year. Just on the topic of the code of ethics and conflict of interest, just a reminder that it is mandatory for all of us to take a sexual harassment prevention training yearly. This as part of the New York State human rights laws. this is something that we will circulate to the whole board. And as a reminder, I think it's a 1-hour training. It does not count towards the minimum 2 hours of trustee education mandated by New York State education law. So that's upcoming. Are there any questions, any discussions about this agenda item before we move on?
No.
Okay. Moving on then to agenda item number 9, which is committee appointments. The committee appointments have been circulated with the full board well in advance and have been agreed to. And so I will just go on record here with the official committee assignments for the 2026-2027 operating year. The Budget and Finance Committee will be chaired by Corey Galloway. Additional members are Vera Salter and Nancy Weinberger. The Policy Committee will be chaired by Lucille Renwick, with additional members Fala Cortez and Nancy Weinberger. The Community Relations Committee will be chaired by Fala Cortez, with additional members Tatiana Infante and Lucille Renwick. The Buildings and Grounds Committee will be chaired by Vera Salter, with additional members Corey Galloway and Fala Cortez. The Personnel Committee will be chaired by Tatiana Infante, with additional members Nancy Weinberger and Lucille Renwick. The official New Rochelle Public Library Foundation liaison will be me and Fala Cortez. And the official liaison to the Friends of the Library will be Lucille Renwick. Our liaison with the city civil service will be Tatiana Infante. As president, I will not be chairing or officially sitting on a committee, but I'll be an ex officio member of all committees and attending all the meetings. Are there any questions, any comments on the committee assignments before we move on? All right, moving on then. Agenda item number 10, adoption of the annual resolutions. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees adopts the following resolutions necessary for the board and administration to conduct business during the 2026-2027 fiscal year. There are 5 different resolutions. They're brief, so I will read through them. Then I will see if there are any questions or comments before we can pass them as the board, okay? So resolution number 1 is designating depositories, and it reads as follows. May it be resolved that M&T Bank and NICLAS be designated as the legal depository for all monies belonging to the New Rochelle Public Library. Resolution number 2, naming of official newspapers of the library. Be it resolved that the Journal News be designated as the official newspaper of the New Rochelle Public Library for the 2026-2026 fiscal year. Resolution number 3, naming of the official TV station of the library. Be it resolved that News 12 Westchester be designated as the official TV station of the New Rochelle Public Library for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Resolution number 4, naming of the official social media outlets for the library. Be it resolved that Facebook and Instagram be designated as the official social media outlets of the New Rochelle Public Library for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. And resolution number 5, appointing library attorney for 2026-2027. Be it resolved that the law office of Stephanie Adams, called LOSA, PLC, be appointed as Labor and Employment Counsel and General Counsel for the New Rochelle Public Library for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Those are 5 resolutions. I will make a motion for the board to adopt these resolutions. Are there any comments, any discussions on these resolutions? Second first?
You have to get a second.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Lucille. Now, are there any comments or any discussion on the resolutions that I just read? All right. May I have a motion for the board to adopt the 5 resolutions I just read, please? I'm calling for a vote. Thank you. I'm being coached over here. I'm learning. All right. I'm calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Lucille. All right. We're moving on to regular business. And we will start with a WLS report from our representative, Dr. David Menner.
Good evening. The legislators appreciation supper. All member library staff, board members, friends and foundation members are invited to the legislators appreciation supper on Tuesday, July 21st, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Westchester Library Service headquarters. This is an annual event. It's a great opportunity to connect with local legislators, thank them for the continued support of the libraries, or potentially tell their ear off about any current issues that may be pending. Construction aid. So WLS has received for the 2027 calendar year an allocation of $2,077,297 for the New York State Library construction. The construction portal is now open, and libraries may begin working on their 0386-27 project applications. The closing date for the applications is 5 p.m. Friday, August 21st, 2026. Resources to help prepare for an application, including step-by-step guide, and videos are also available at the Division of Library Development. NRPL has always been successful in obtaining these construction grants. And of course, if there's anything I can do to assist or advocate on behalf of NRPL Public Library, please let me know, and I'm happy to give my 2 cents. Westchester Library is doing a pilot project called the Road Trip. WLS is developing the Westchester Library Road Trip, a county-wide initiative that participating member libraries can opt into, inviting residents in Westchester to explore libraries across the system through fun challenges and interactive experiences. The program also offers staff professional development opportunities to visit neighboring libraries and bring innovative ideas back to their own communities or share innovative ideas. The road trip is tentatively supposed to be scheduled from September 13th through December 13th.
Thank you, David. Are there any questions for David on his report? No? All right. Then I will move on to President's report. And I just wanted to quickly take a moment, use this opportunity to thank you and tell you how honored I am that the colleagues of my board colleagues have chosen to place their trust in me to lead the board in this upcoming year. It's been such an incredible experience to work with all of you in the past few years, and I'm so proud of all the work that we've done, especially in the last couple of years. We have accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. It is really quite extraordinary, and I don't feel bad just patting ourselves on the back a little bit here to say it's really easy to just be focused on what to accomplish next and what comes next, but it's also good to pause and take a moment to acknowledge the enormous amount of work that we've done together already. And I just remember that 2 years ago, we were in the middle of working with an interim library director while conducting a national search for a new director. And remember what an incredible choice we made by hiring this powerhouse director, Eugenia Shatoff, and think about the truly transformational work that we've done since then under the guidance of Eugenia with the help of our extraordinary library staff. And we've strengthened and reimagined just nearly every aspect of this library's operations. We've updated our bylaws. We have written and passed a staggering 23 new policies, in addition to a comprehensive 18-page document of fiscal policies. We've implemented regular staff trainings. We have made crucial hirings, including an amazing new library director, assistant director, and recently an assistant director of facilities and operations. We've optimized our staff planning. We've conducted some major facility planning and capital initiatives, including completing phase 1 of our wonderful children's garden and a thorough basement cleanup. We've gone after and secured numerous grants, including a really generous 1.1 million grant from our state legislators towards our roof repair. We've transitioned to become financially independent from the school district, and we've taken custody of our own funds. We conducted our first ever independent audit. We passed our annual budgets with huge margins and recently passed a once-in-a-generation $55 million capital improvement plan. And that is just a really small sampling of all the work that this team here has accomplished together recently. This is a really exciting time to be on this board, and I really look forward to the work that we're going to do in this upcoming year together. With the overwhelming approval of the capital improvement bond, our community has given us a remarkable vote of confidence. This investment will allow us to replace this building's aging infrastructure and long overdue core systems, but it also allows us to reimagine and revitalize a library that has served generations since 1979. The community has made it clear that they want to be part of this journey, and their support for this bond wasn't simply a vote for a renovation. It was a vote for the future of this library and for the role it plays in the life of the city. Yesterday's partner breakfast, which I think our director will talk a little bit more about, was an amazing event. It's incredible to be a part of. And it was just the beginning of a broad community engagement process that will invite residents from every neighborhood and just every corner of New Rochelle to participate and to help shape what this library will become for the next generations. We want to hear from all of you. Your perspectives and your ideas and your vision for the future of this library are invaluable. I want to thank our library director, Eugenia Shatov, and we really cannot thank her enough for her visionary leadership. And thank you to the amazing library staff who are the heart and soul of this library. I want to shout out the Library Foundation and the Friends of the Library for their continued support, for being such amazing partners. And that's it. With that, I will hand it over to our director for the director's report.
Thank you so much, Rhiannon, for your kind words. So first and foremost, I'm pleased to share that David Almodovar has joined the library as our Assistant Director of Facility and Operations. So I certainly am very excited to have him here. He brings more than 20 years of leadership experience in academic library settings, and has had much experience with library operations, system administration, and service delivery across multi-campus environments. We're very, very excited to have him join our leadership team. Last month, we ended this at the end of June. We partnered with the New Rochelle Downtown Business Improvement District, the BID, and the New Rochelle 250 committee. So as you may recall, I was appointed to the city's committee for the 250th birthday of our great nation. And so we partnered with them to host the America 250 Wish Project. And so if you saw when you were here in the library, on all of the gallery walls, there were different posters where patrons, citizens, people coming through the library, families, seniors, teens, everyone could write and draw their hopes for this country and their dream for America's future. It was extremely aspirational and had very, very high participation. And it was especially moving because all of the wishes are going to be gathered and are going to join thousands of others being collected all across this country in libraries, museums, community spaces. As you know, as we all know, the library serves as an important civic gathering place for these important community conversations. And it was nice to have a small part in not only thinking about our country's history, but hoping and trying to imagine a future for our country. So finally, I just wanted to end by saying that we had a partner breakfast yesterday morning. It was an invitation event where we had various leaders from different community groups, from nonprofits, from the city, the school district, great representation from our friends and from our foundation, from New Rochelle Council of the Arts, and all sorts of other different groups help us with our visioning and planning for our master facility plans. So our professionals, Margaret Sullivan Studio and Lothrop Associates, facilitated meaningful conversations about the evolving needs of our community and what role the library is going to play and what the role we can imagine the library playing in the future. So it was very, very important, and we're going to continue to have these engagement sessions. We had multiple focus groups this week, including we had a senior focus group. We had I'm forgetting, we had so many. We had many focus groups. We are also currently we currently have a survey available. If you have not taken the survey, take a few minutes. You can be entered to win a gift card. So I know Vera, I'm not used to the new places where everybody's sitting. Vera is going to be reporting further on the survey, but please, if you have not participated, enter to win our survey. It's only a couple minutes long. And it helps us in our planning to have these data points in decision-making going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugenia. And this is an exciting moment for us because we will hear from our brand new treasurer. And maybe could you hand the mic over to him? Darren, thank you so much for reporting.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is on. Yes. Okay. Well, we're happy to be here. Let me just start by saying, we're very happy to be part of this transition and this successful transition. We had previously were auditing the claims of the library as part of the New Rochelle School District process. And so as you decided to make your transition and bring us along for that, so we had some knowledge of your claim processes in the past and reinventing them now as an independent entity. My firm has a team approach here, so you'll see Kyle, wave your hand, Kyle. Kyle's been very involved in the process to get everything up and running as well with your contractual accountant and the team that you currently have up and running. And we expect to have treasurer's reports at the end of each month for each meeting. That's going to provide you with the information you need in terms of where you are budget to actual, confirmation of your bank reconciliations being timely and accurately prepared, and anything else that you need to know to, make financial decisions as you move forward. So that's where we are right now. We don't have any financial reporting for you at the moment, since we're 16 days into the new year. But at your next meeting, you'll have a treasurer's report. Okay.
Thank you, Darren. And I just want to add to that once we have the financial reporting, we are planning on a board retreat where we're all trained in there's various levels of understanding and literacy when it comes to reading financial reports. So there's going to be a dedicated retreat where we all get to dive into these reports and learn how to read them and learn how to ask the right questions. So just look out for that date that's coming. Okay, are there any questions for Darren right now before we move on? Okay. Next up are board committee reports, and these reports will still be given by the previous committee chairs. And so I will kick it off with the report of the Budget and Finance Committee. The Budget and Finance Committee met twice last month on June 25th and July 1st. The first item we discussed was the library's insurance. In our continued efforts to be good financial stewards of the library, we have taken a look at our current insurance provider and solicited competitive proposals. We've received 2 insurance proposals for the library. 3 additional companies declined to submit bids. After reviewing the proposals, the Budget and Finance Committee has decided to recommend moving forward with a proposal from, how do you pronounce it, Utica, which I shared earlier with the full board. It offers more than $50,000 in annual cost savings for the library. In addition to those savings, Utica participates in a dividend program through a consortium of approximately 70 public libraries across New York State. So there is an additional potential, in addition to the savings, there might be an additional annual premium. The average has seen about 15% annually on public library dividends. And so I shared this proposal from Utica with the full board, and I would like at this time to make a motion for the board to approve this insurance proposal from Utica. May I have a second, please? Tatiana Infante seconds. Are there any questions? Is there any discussion about the insurance? Then I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next up is the industrial appraisal proposal. As part of the library's ongoing capital planning, insurance, and financial reporting efforts, the library needs to complete an industrial appraisal of our building, furnishings, equipment, and other assets. An industrial proposal provides an independent assessment of the replacement value of these assets, helping to ensure that our insurance coverage is accurate and adequate in the event of a loss. It also provides updated asset valuations to support our annual financial audit and help ensure our capital assets are accurately reflected in our financial statements. The library solicited proposals from 5 firms, and after reviewing the submissions, our director recommended awarding the contract to Industrial Appraisal Company, that's the name of the company, for $9,760, inclusive of all expenses. The Budget and Finance Committee meeting in the last, Committee in the last meeting made a motion to award the contract to the Industrial Appraisal Company, which the committee passed unanimously. Just financial consultant treasurer update. As we just swore in our treasurer, the treasurer will be prepare financial reports, as we said, and submit the report to our new fiscal officer, Corey Galloway, who will present them to the board at the board meetings beginning at the August meeting. And I already mentioned the board training that we will be conducting. The work with the financial advisor, in this case, the advisor that will be working with us on the bond. The status of that is that Eugenia has submitted the contract to the advising firm, and at the July 22nd committee meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee, the advising firm and our library attorney, Stephanie Adams, will come together to discuss the MOU and the next steps with the school district. And the Budget and Finance Committee will meet again on July 22nd at 8:30 a.m. Are there any questions on my report about the Budget and Finance Committee? Nope. All right. Then we'll move on to the Buildings and Grounds Committee. Corey.
Hello. Buildings and Grounds Committee, we met June 5th, 8:30 a.m. Attendees were Rhiannon Navin, Lucille Renwick, Vera Salter, and Eugenie Shatoff. Key items that we discussed on were the Children's Garden Phase 2. We're happy that the Library Foundation committed $80,000 towards this project as they look at additional fundraising opportunities. We've also looked at native landscaping, new fence requiring bidding, just to talk about Phase 2, which will happen third quarter of this year. Bonding capital planning, as you know, which Madam President discussed on, the $55 billion bond is obviously going to be spent within this committee, Buildings and Grounds. So it's our job to talk about bond anticipation notes and the process related to soft costs and hiring those professionals for those soft costs. We're also looking at, we confirmed a master facility plan, which we're working on right now. It's in process. We agreed that we'll have monthly bond project financial updates that'll be incorporated into our regular financial reporting, which will be separate from operations reporting, because as everyone should be aware, the bond is separated from our operations, so we shouldn't mix the two as we report out. Those reports will be completely separate. I'll be reporting out on as a fiscal officer moving forward. We're targeting to bring in an architect. It'll start the selection for an RFP for an architect, and we're looking at January 2027, hopefully to have that completed. We just sent out a master facility plan as roadmap. That's still in process, but we started the process of dates, Gantt schedules, and things of that nature. In addition, the Buildings and Grounds Committee has listened to the entire board, and we will had to put on the books a date to perform an education and governance to all the trustees on how the bond goes into being spent by the Buildings and Grounds Committee, effectively the library. So just educating everyone on bond anticipation notes as well as the bond in and of itself. The bond anticipation note will be more of a finance issue, but those expenses will incur in Buildings and Grounds. And that is it for Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you, Corey. Are there any questions for Corey about his report? All right, then we will move on to community relations, and that's Vera's.
Okay, I'm pleased to report on the Community Relations Committee on behalf of myself and my co-chair, Nancy Weinberger. The no, it's not on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The Community Relations Committee met on Monday, July 6th at 9 a.m. The attendees were myself, Nancy Weinberger, Fela Cortez, Tatiana Infante, Eugenia Shadoff, and Kathleen Soul from Lothrop Associates and Margaret Sullivan of Margaret Sullivan Studios. The meeting was called to order at 9:03 a.m. The major discussion of the meeting was about the community breakfast because this was held 2 weeks prior to the community partner breakfast, which, as others have told you, was an excellent event that was held yesterday morning with diverse representation from organizations and communities across New Rochelle. And Margaret Sullivan Studios presented a slideshow on the progress of our work with the community. We also discussed the community survey, and this was prior to its going out, and we're very excited to report that we already have 438 responses to the survey and expect to have many more. And we also discussed the focus groups, which have already been held. So I think we're very excited with the culmination of our work and excited to hand over the work of community relations to the new chair, Fela Cortez, and the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Any questions for Vera at this point? All right, I will move on to the Personnel Committee then, and that's Tatiana Infante.
Good evening. Can you hear me? You go? Okay. The Personnel Committee met on June 15th. The meeting was called to order at 9:09 to discuss personal matters and receiving the staffing updates. The committee was informed of recent hires and the progress of several positions awaiting civil service posting. We adjourned the meeting at 10:23, and the next meeting will be on Tuesday, July 20 at 9 a.m. And I just want to emphasize that one of the Personnel Committee goals for the upcoming year is to strengthen our partnership with civil service. A better collaboration will help streamline the hiring process and support our efforts to maintain a fully staffed library, which is important. Also, I would like to present 2 resolutions for the board consideration. I would like to make a motion for the board to approve the consent agenda for personal resolutions number 2026071311 according to the recommended action for each item.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Lucille Runwick. Are there any questions or any discussion? I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second resolution is the following. Whereas the current collective bargaining agreement allows for up to 60 days of extended sick leave upon approval by the director and the board of trustees. And whereas the library and union previously agreed that the implementation of short-term disability will be affected to add to the time an employee has had with compensation, and be resolved that the board hereby approves approval of 10 days of extended sick leave without the need for further board approval for any employee who has qualified for short-term disability during the same period upon approval of the director.
All right, we have a motion from Tatiana regarding the extended sick leave. May I have a second, please? Seconded by Fala Cortez. Are there any questions, any discussion? I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. Absolutely.
I just wanted to thank the trustees. So the reason for this resolution was to enable me to be able to respond to these requests in a timely manner, because typically it takes much longer for the personnel committee and then the full board to get involved and to, weigh everything with the legal counsel. So this enables me, when we have a staff member who's in a situation where they do require this, that I'm able to then grant them this leave automatically, and then further discussion can be had with the personnel committee. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Eugenia, for the update. All right, we are moving on to the policy committee. Fala Cortez.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow trustees, Executive Director Shatov, invaluable library staff, and fellow residents of New Rochelle. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Policy Committee for an ambitious and productive year of work for the New Rochelle Public Library. I personally, individually, I'd like to say thank you, Vera, for your sharp eyes and your can-do attitude. Thank you, Tatiana, for all the work you've done, especially on policies that intersect with personnel matters. Eugenia, thank you for your guidance, your positive attitude, and wealth of information. And our attorneys have provided great feedback and guidance. And finally, my profound thanks to our esteemed outgoing president, Lucille Renwick, who always jumps straight into the most difficult policies, and also for being a trusted thought partner. As the outgoing chair of the policy committee, I've been lucky to work with this team as we pass 23 policies this fiscal year. I look forward to seeing the work that Lucille does as the new chair of the policy committee, and I'm very happy to remain on the committee. The policy committee met on Monday, June 22nd, 2026. The attendees were Lucille Renwick, Tatiana Infante, Vera Salter, and myself. The focus of our meeting was to review the programming policy, tabling policy, and the facility rentals policy revisions. I would like to bring 2 of those 3 to the board tonight for a vote. Both policies were circulated to the trustees in advance, and thank you for your notes and your comments. First, I would like to make a motion for the board to adopt the programming policy. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vera.
Do we have any questions or comments, discussion on the programming policy? All right, then I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Policy passes.
Thank
To the
you.
next.
And then I would like to make a motion for the board to adopt the tabling policy. May I please have a second?
Corey Galloway, second. Are there any questions, any discussion? I'll call for a vote then. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, also passed. Thank you for that.
Thank you. With that said, as the outgoing chair of the policy committee, I want to thank everyone again for your commitment to revising and creating policy, which, as the American Library Association notes, policy is a valuable tool that informs the New Rochelle community about the library's intents, our goals, and aspirations, while encouraging stability and continuity in the library's operations. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right, next on the agenda, we have the the approval of checks and warrants. I will do this one last time before I hand this job over to Nancy at the next meeting. And so I have the consent agenda in front of me. I make a motion for the board to approve the warrants of the 2025-2026 fiscal year, number 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, and 52. And of the 26-27 fiscal year, warrants number 1 and number 2. And 3, 4, 5. Hold on. May I have a second? Tatiana Infante seconded. Are there any questions, any discussion? Then I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes. Let me just update this. And I will circulate this to be signed, please. All right, moving on to item number 14, resolutions. I don't think there are any additional resolutions. As no old business, I have one new business item, which is the 2026-2027 board meeting schedule. I shared that with the board ahead of the meeting. There will be a cleaned up version coming around too. There was a draft version I shared. The preliminary plan currently calls for our regular board meetings plus a short second meeting every month, which will be a Zoom meeting to do the approval of the checks. This is temporary. We're finding our groove with our financial transition, and we'll see if this becomes our permanent schedule, the 2 times a month, or if we're able to go back to our once a month. And the meeting details, time, and so on will be discussed and agreed upon among the group. So we'll have more details on that. But for now, I would like to call for a vote of the board to approve the preliminary meeting schedule for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Falah Cortez seconded. Are there any questions, any concerns, any discussion on this item? All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, approval of the preliminary meeting schedule. I think we can now move on to public comment. And while Jessica brings me the sheet, I just want to pair our public comment policy. Thank you. I just want to remind everybody that speakers are allowed to speak for 3 minutes. I will time the 3 minutes. Please state your first and last name and your address. And after the 3 minutes, we will turn off the microphone. So the first public speaker I have here is Vince Malfitano. Vince, do you want to come up? And you are the only. So you're the first, last, and only. So I will wait for you to come up before I start the timer. Just please state your name and your address.
Where's the clock that I should look at?
It's right here.
All right. Well, look, a couple of things. I'm a senior citizen. I didn't know anything about your senior citizen meeting. I go to the U Doyle Center. Maybe did they announce it? I didn't know about it. I haven't come to these meetings in a while, but who's in charge of your senior citizen meetings? Anybody here can raise their hand I can talk to? No. All right. Something about the TV. I've been to Board of Ed meetings in these for 40 some odd years. I've never seen these on TV, on the cable. Are they? Does anybody know?
Just continue your comment, please.
They're on the cable system in New Rochelle. I've never seen it. You might want to ask them to publish a time frame when I can tune it in. In terms of other meetings, I came here yesterday because I saw something posted. I don't know if it was from you guys or the city about the meeting you were having. I didn't say anything about, the particular requirements about it, but it talked about a meeting to discuss planning for the library. And this was last month I saw this. And so I called, finally got through to somebody at the library. I asked about the meeting. And I said, yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And I said, okay, fine. So I came over, walked in, I gave them my name, because whoever I talked to, I said, yeah, I'd like to show up. And they said, well, we don't see your name here. So, well, no, I called someone. They said, well, just sign in. So I signed in, sat down. I was talking to a bunch of my friends, Damon Moore and a few other folks. And then I was collared and told I don't belong here. I have to leave. I have to get out. I said, wow. So why is that? Well, you have to be a stakeholder, a member of a thing. I said, what? That's why I'm a citizen, 45 years. I'm a taxpayer. I belong to all kinds of groups. So anyway, to try to make a long story short, I said, okay, well, I understand. It's a misunderstanding. That's too bad. But, you know, I was only me. It wasn't like a mob. You could have just let me sit down and enjoy myself. But no, you told me to get out. Okay, so I left. But, you know, it's kind of rude, but I understand rules are rules. But I did ask these groups that you're talking about, these stakeholders, these groups that deserve invitation. I'd like to see the list. Can you publish the list of the groups that you sent invitations to, or you thought were worthy of invitations? I'd like to know. I'm a member of the American Legion. I don't think Commander Starr or anybody even heard about this thing yesterday. So what I'm just suggesting is secrecy helps no one. Transparency and light is a good disinfectant. So please publish to the community the list of the community groups that you deemed worthy of an invitation. Is that too much to ask?
Thank you. That was
I hope
time.
not.
That's 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's time now. Thank you very much. Can we turn off the mic? Thank you. There's a 3-minute limit and the microphone is going to get turned off. Thank you, Mitz. All right, we're going to move on now. There's one clarification that I was asked to make. It's a small clarification. Corey, to the Buildings and Grounds report, you had mentioned that the foundation contributed $80,000 to the next phase of the Children's Garden project. And I was asked to clarify that the check was for $88,000. Yes, thank you very much again to the foundation for their generosity. And all right, and I think that was it. I think we made it through our agenda. So it is 8:29. I make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second? Seconded by Corey Galloway. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting's adjourned at 8:29. Thank you so much.